Hello, Steve White, TrekBoy89 for Steve Arts89. Well, we had a bad day recently, us Star Trek fans. Not the new Trek fans and the Trekkies and the Discovery fans. They had a good day, but we had a bad day. Basically, Star Trek fans have been living with the hope that eventually Alex Kurtzman was going to just leave, that his contract would end and he'd leave. And in the meantime, he was going to take a backseat and allow other people to focus on the shows and just keep getting the credit and the money and the checks, but let other people like Akiva Goldsman actually run the shows because they actually know Star Trek, care about Star Trek, even if their talent may be in question, at least their intentions are good. They actually know what Star Trek is they want. They don't just see it as a political platform for their agenda and their issues. They actually see it as a science fiction show to tell stories and to explore humanity and to provoke thoughts and so forth and so on. But yeah, no, his contract has been renewed through to 2026, so it was originally going to run out in 2023, and we were all just sort of waiting. We're sort of thinking, as long as we can keep him out, keep his hands directly out of the actual productions, and just wait out the contract, we'll be fine. We could sort of see at least that there was a tunnel, maybe not the light at the end of the tunnel, but we knew there was a tunnel. We were heading sort of through it, and eventually we're going to get to the end. But now it's just like we're just in a void, and I don't see how Star Trek can survive. And I basically just went on YouTube and was reading articles and was watching videos, and it did make me a little bit better to see other people, other YouTubers, other Star Trek fans being upset and talking about just how monumentally horrific this is and how Star Trek is basically dead, and just sort of mourning it. And some people were ranting because, they've got their usual alt-right, racist, sexist, homophobic base to feed to and whatever. Other people were just having real reactions to actually losing Star Trek, something they care about, and just not knowing how it's going to go. One person I did get some solace from was Robert Meyer Burnett, and although, yes, during Black Lives Matter he said shoot them all, during the Black Lives Matter protests, he said shoot them all. I've started watching his shows again recently just because of the subjects, and even though I don't agree with his politics, he's very knowledgeable of the media, the medium, and he's just good with his shows. He does a good show. He's well informed and he's insightful and intelligent. So I was watching his show and he was on point with so much stuff that the articles are very much just targeted to try and get people to invest in Paramount Plus to sort of instill confidence in Star Trek, and none of it's true. It's all just coordinated PR. But the contract still exists. They're not making it up, but they're selling it like it's something that it isn't. And I spent most of my day arguing with trolls and Drekkies in my comment section, attacking me and saying basically that you're wrong, you don't know anything about Star Trek, you're racist, you're sexist, you're homophobic, you've been what is it when you get like brainwashed by someone? Basically the alt-right have like weaponized me basically and turned me into one of their lemmings that just go out and just vomit their beliefs apparently or something. So I don't know what videos they're watching, but they're not watching mine. And it's just interesting. I was arguing some of these things, and I really had to define what Star Trek was, because they were saying this is what Star Trek is and you don't know what Star Trek is, and I sort of had to really think about this. I'm writing like these page-long sort of answers, and it just made me think about things like we've been called elitist, and Star Trek is elitist, and like, yeah, it was intelligent, it was sophisticated, and only appealed to a certain amount of people, certain type of people, and they supported it with just absolute devotion and fanaticism. Even though there wasn't a large Star Trek fan base, it wasn't the general audience watching Star Trek, the ones who did went out and spent a lot of money that Paramount got from. So what they lacked in the actual audience numbers, they made up for in the merchandising and the support and the licensing fees and stuff. So Star Trek was still very profitable, even though it wasn't like a mainstream general appeal show. They don't understand this. They watch it once on Netflix and then go off and go virtue signal for a while, and they don't do anything else to support the show. They don't understand how it works. I don't believe there's enough people actually streaming the show to support it. Like, a franchise cannot survive on streaming alone. and the argument that, oh, it's the most successful, it's the best it's ever been, it's the, it's like, no, they may be producing more shows, but they're producing less content and less quality. When they had 2 Star Trek shows in production in 97 through to 2001, they made 156 shows, 156 hours of television. Discovery in 4 years with 5 shows, and including all their produced shows that haven't actually been released yet, assuming Strange New Worlds, Prodigy, and that get like 10 episodes each. They've only made 122 episodes? Damn, where are my notes? Yeah, I think it was 122 episodes what they've made in four years with 5 different shows. The original Star Trek, they made 2 shows, 156 episodes, and they were hour long, because 30 of those episodes, it was 92 and 30, so 122. 30 of those episodes were half-hour animated show episodes. The others were hour-long drama shows, live-action drama shows. So they haven't even produced as much content, and it's lesser quality, and it's not as widely distributed. It's not as it's not seen as much. Now, people will argue with me, oh, it's a giant streaming show. I'm like, where are your numbers? Show me your numbers. Because I have numbers. I've seen numbers for how badly it did on CBS on broadcast TV, how badly it did on cable TV and science fiction networks in the UK and Canada, and how badly the pre-orders were with the toys that McFarlane cancelled the Discovery toys and basically left their contract. These things all happened. We know this. We can prove it. Your myth that this show is like the biggest streaming show, where are the numbers? If it was doing that well, CBS All Access and Paramount Plus would have and would be showing you those numbers and bragging about them, like HBO or whatever, who had Game of Thrones would brag about how many million people watched the show and all that. They'd be doing the same thing if they had those numbers. They don't. It may be streaming well for them, considering they don't have anything else on the channels to actually get any views. It may be their best shot. It doesn't mean it's actually pound for pound, comparing to other shows and other networks and platforms, actually getting the numbers. And even if it did, that still wouldn't make it okay. It still wouldn't make it better. Just because you've got more shows being produced and maybe even more people watching them, if it's not quality and the people watching them are just watching it because they're lemmings and they're just the general audience watching what's on Netflix because they just need content and it doesn't matter what it is, it's just whatever's being advertised, that doesn't make it better. That doesn't make it... It's like people need to learn the difference between brand loyalty and fandom. Like I've seen people argue, I saw a guy arguing on Austrek, which is the second longest running Star Trek fan club in the world. It's the oldest fan club in Australia, and we've got the second oldest club in the world. They were arguing that if you guys don't support Star Trek and it fails, we won't have any more Star Trek. I'm like, good, because what we're getting now is not Star Trek. Quantity shouldn't be taken over quality. The idea that, well, we'll just get like 5 shows and we'll have it on all the time, people watch it, but it won't actually be Star Trek. It's like, well, then it doesn't count. It doesn't matter. You've just missed the point. And yeah, people need to recognise the difference between brand and loyalty, watching something just because it's got the name, and to support it blindly, rather than fanaticism, where you actually care about the show and you actually believe in it, and it's actually got some value to it. But no, these people, they're just saying, just watch it because it's Star Trek in name, and we need to keep the name alive for appearance's sake. Like, we can't have it fail. I'm like, I think if it failed and went away for 5 years until the current crop of people are all gone and some new people can come in and revitalize it, like they did with Doctor Who, I think it would be better than just dragging it along like the corpse at Weekend at Bernie's, like it's alive when it's not. It's just tragic. And just, they got into elements of the show itself, which, like saying that, Star Trek always mirrored society, so that's why Discovery is good, because it just talks about things that are happening today. We've got racism, we've got slavery, all these things are in 24th century Star Trek or 23rd century Star Trek. They've got slavery of machines, of androids. They've got, what else do they have? They've got a bunch of bad things. And these people are arguing with me that but Star Trek always mirrored what was happening on Earth. I said, no, it didn't. It used allegory. It used aliens because Star Trek Starfleet had evolved and this stuff wasn't happening on Earth, but when we'd see it somewhere else, we'd call it out and do something about it. And that's how people would learn. They'd see, as Gene Roddenberry said, polka dot people on some planet having the same problem, and then people would be able to see through them, objectively, the issue that they couldn't see because their politics, because when they looked at it in terms of today, they couldn't see past, their ideology and their political views. Whereas if you put it on a different planet, you set the same problem on a different planet with different people, it's going to be seen differently. The humanism of the show, the fact that they actually had everyone's point of view, everyone mattered. It wasn't just one point of view preaching to everyone else. I'm left, I'm gay, I am for all the things, all the diversity and things that Alex Kurtzman is pushing through Star Trek. I'm just not that into the fact that he is pushing it, because all that does is alienate people and make them aware of it, conscious of it, and resent it, and target it. And now instead of having people watching Star Trek and being open-minded and seeing some of these themes and subjects and issues being brought up and considering them, now they're just being slapped in the face with them and they're deliberately coming up against them. And people who in the past probably wouldn't have had too much problem with diversity are making a huge rally call against it. So you failed there. What else? Oh, Section 31, my God. There's talk that because he's renegotiated his deal, it's going to allow for more than 5 shows, which they were limited to before, and Strange New Worlds kind of pushed out Section 31, which there wasn't much support of. So it looks like I can't imagine he didn't negotiate into it that he's going to get that. It's a complete antithesis of what Star Trek was. It was created by R. Stephen Burr, who hated Star Trek. He literally said, I've heard him say he hated Star Trek Next Generation. He wanted to make the anti-Next Generation because he thought it was fake, because he didn't believe in utopia. And a lot of people don't believe in the utopian vision that Gene had for Star Trek. They don't believe utopia exists, and if it does, it can't last, it has to fail. So that's what they believe for Star Trek. You have to pull it down because they cannot conceive of a world where we have evolved and we have this perfect world, and that we can go out due to that world into the universe to explore outside of ourselves and take that knowledge to other places, because apparently that's colonialism and patriarchy and all these bad things, and utopia is a joke and people are fools if they believe in it, so they have to destroy it and be cynical and make everything like today but worse just to show us. Because Star Trek, like I was saying to them, it's not about rebuilding, it's not about rediscovering utopia, it's about living in utopia. It's about being an evolved species. Like the Star Trek characters were like superheroes. They were better than us. They were someone to aspire to. We knew we never would get to their level because they were evolved. They were better than us. And that was okay, because people who are secure in themselves, when they see something better, they want to improve themselves. They don't resent it and sit there and throw stones at it because of their insecurities, like most people do when they see someone better than them. No, that's not how it worked. God. What else? What else did I talk about today? Because I was writing whole page-long answers to questions and things, and I'm just like, these people don't know what Star Trek is. They think they do, and they're just wrong. And it's just sad because there are enough of these people, they might be able to keep this show alive, not prospering like the original Star Trek did when it was on, and Next Gen, Deep Space Nine, all those shows. There were troubles once they got to Voyager and Enterprise because they were on UPN, and that limited the audience and they didn't do as well. But yeah, there might be enough of these people to keep it alive just long enough for people to forget what good Star Trek really was, and we may never see it again. And that's kind of what scares me, that this could drag out long enough that it's irreparable, and then we'll never see any more Star Trek ever again, like real Star Trek. And I miss real Star Trek. I need that inspiration. I need that inspiration every week. I need to have this future I can believe in that, says things are going to get better. We're just going to keep getting better and better and better, and humanity's going to get better and better and better, and we're going to have a great future one day. We're going to be an evolved species that, gets to the stars and beyond. And people can't handle that concept. It's too big for them, so they just have to bring it down to earth and make it just like today. It has to be contemporary problems, religion, war, just people fighting amongst each other. Like all they do in Discovery is just attack each other and just be ugly people. Not like Next Gen, but that's lame. That's not realistic. You know, people can't actually live together in peace and equality and equity and actually respect each other. They can't handle that, so they have to make it. They keep bringing Star Trek down to our level in the 20th century. Or is it 21st century? It's 21st century, isn't it? Sorry, I've lived in 2 different centuries. I forget which is which. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. But I've been talking for 15 minutes. I'm going to stop. This was supposed to be a 10-minute video. But yeah, it's just depressing. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the whole situation and what do you think Star Trek's future might be, if it has one. Bye.